And welcome to the N5D podcast, brought to you by Replacement Thumbsticks. Have you worn down your thumbsticks by playing hours and hours and hours of JRPGs? Then Replacement Thumbsticks are for you. Replace those moldy, rotten, disgusting old thumbsticks with new Replacement Thumbsticks from whoever pays us for this advertisement. In 5D. I'm just saying that's the kind of quality you can get if you just like on it. $30. That's $10 each.
Yeah. That's nothing to
sandwich
shake your...
price. That's good.
Yeah.
If you got a coupon, you can get pizza from Pizza Hut for that. Also, Pizza Hut, send us each a pizza, and I'll talk more about how with a coupon you can get a pizza for $10.
Didn't we already name one episode called? It's just called "Why Not Sponsor Us"?
Yeah, it was just a couple episodes ago we did that, but you got to keep putting it out there. What if they missed that one?
The question was that a question, or are we saying this is the evidence why they shouldn't?
Porque no los dos.
Yeah, right. This is what our quality, but this is our quality.
That's also I'll replace that girl. I'm sure I'll get called out for some shit, but you know what? You want me to talk about why we can't have both hard tacos and soft tacos? I'll do it.
Just don't put yourself in a sombrero and a giant mustache. I think you'll be safe.
Is that going too far?
Yeah, a little bit.
Should I fire a gun in the air and go like yee?
I mean, unless you get a red beard with red hair and a cowboy hat and do Yosemite Sam. No,
so that's
not okay.
That's sort of the line, though, right? Like, if I were to do anything from a Speedy Gonzalez cartoon, not acceptable.
No.
But if I were to do anything from a Yosemite Sam cartoon, fairly acceptable.
Fairly acceptable, except nowadays they're starting to say that Yosemite Sam was a little prejudiced.
They're also trying to take his guns away.
I believe they already did that.
Hold on. Though here's sort of my issue. Yes. Was that not the point?
Yeah, right.
Like that's why he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
We're never like, oh, that Yosemite Sam, he's always just trying to shoot down the little guy. Darn it, why doesn't he win? We're supposed to go, yay. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, him and like Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, so like, yes.
Surprisingly, I've seen a lot of Elmer Fudd like skinhead drawings.
There might be. I've never looked for them, but there might be.
No, they just pop up as like random memes here and there.
Oh.
Is that really the icon that your people want to use?
Right?
We like him. He's a little dopey. Like, oh, all right.
Reminds
I mean, they do
Pa.
believe in a clean gin pool, and he fits that description pretty well.
Yeah, fair.
Wait, what color were his eyes? I thought brown eyes were supposed to be out.
Tell it to Hitler.
Right.
I got
no, he was the only one. He was the one. And I feel like that's the episode. We just brought up Hitler. It's kind of done from here. We've peaked.
Okay, I gotta share this really quick, just because it's sort of along the same line thought. So I was talking to my brother Jay from the Bias Bros podcast, alternating Thursdays, 7. And he found this great online theory. It came from a random TikTok. I'm sorry that I can't credit the guy. I don't have any of this. It was some random TikTok, but basically the guy was talking about a theory from Titanic about how Jack is actually a time traveler, because Jack apparently does and mentions several things that were not invented or did not exist yet until after the Titanic sank. So the theory online now is that Jack was actually a time traveler who had to save Rose because she was a great ancestor of John Connor, or of Sarah Connor, who again, because it's the only other James Cameron time travel movie. So I liked bits of the theory. I didn't like the term. Like, I'm fine with time traveler. I'm less fine with Terminator, weirdly. Like, I feel like that's the line we shouldn't have crossed. But my brother pointed out Jack's kind of a dick because he brought his friend and his friend died. He could have saved that guy's life. And I was like, oh, what they don't tell you is that that guy actually becomes the vessel for Lich Hitler. That's why he had to let that guy die, is to prevent Hitler from coming back as a, evil undead wizard who can only be killed by finding the vessel containing his soul. So, really, Jack's still just a boy. That was the real plot of that movie. That scene just got cut where they explain it.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be one of those where like he saves her and then doesn't actually die, just disappears, like whoop.
Yeah, he just sunk under the water and went back to the fucking future.
And he's in this is actually the Time Cop universe, which is the same as the Terminator universe.
I accept all of this now. Actually, if you can find it, like look it up online. I'm sure it can't be that hard. I like the theory until the Terminator bit.
Well, it's like the
Terminator bit's what kills it.
Rugrats theory.
Oh, where they're all dead and Angelica's just projecting them?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't like that theory as much, though. There's just less evidence to support it, other than, like, really far-leaning psychological profiling that's kind of baseless. This actually has merit. That's the difference.
Fair
like,
enough.
This, you can point to a thing and go, like, this and this don't work. So, it's honestly more likely it's just bad research, but the movie gets better when you just assume. But what's funny, apparently it's only Jack who mentions a bunch of stuff from the future. That's what helps it. Yeah. Wow. Or like he's smoking like filtered cigarettes.
Someone should tweet James Cameron about this.
No, yeah, he'll go back and fix it like the stars.
I thought they had filters then. They just were really expensive. They were high end.
This place claims that they didn't have it. I don't know. Look up the theory. Go.
Well, it's not the theory that like when did Titanic take place?
Whenever the Titanic sunk.
God.
You're asking me. Oh, sorry. Let me name the exact year the Titanic sunk. Like, I'm sorry, bro.
When the movie was produced, I was like,
no, the actual like historical event.
97, bro.
Yeah, I was like, why is this a hard question?
No, I don't know when the Titanic sunk.
Sank in 1912, so before World War One.
Okay, when were filtered cigarettes invented? Wow, that just came right up. 1952. So,
really?
long time after 1912. That's what this says. 1952, B&W began marketing Victory with a new cellulose acetate filter. In 1954, Reynolds Tobacco introduced Winston, the first filtered cigarette to achieve major success in the marketplace. I actually smoked Winston's when I smoked, because apparently I smoked exclusively cigarettes that were going to give me cancer immediately. I smoked those, I smoked Lucky Strikes, or I smoked basic 100s with the filters ripped off. Yeah.
I mean, I like filterless cigarettes half the time.
A lot of my friends are just like, you smoke crackhead cigarettes, you know that? And I was like, no. I smoke cheap cigarettes. That's the difference.
Yeah.
They're very cheap. I don't smoke now. Tobacco free is the way to be, yo.
Don't
smoke cigarettes, kids. Smoking and not smoking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference? I've never smoked. I don't know.
I had an outlet for rage when I smoked.
So now you don't have an outlet for rage?
Yelling at people.
Is that better?
Health-wise. Really, the only downside to cigarettes is the part where they kill you. That's why so many people do it.
Just that?
Yeah.
The one
No,
thing.
like, I'm not minimizing. I'm saying cigarettes are great, except for that part where you die from them. That's the part that makes it not worth it, is the death.
Yeah.
Other than the death, though, really, the minute they go, hey, we just made a cigarette that's guaranteed 100% not going to kill you, guess who's smoking those?
I thought that's what vaping was, but no.
No, that shit's going to give you... have you seen all the stuff that takes place in the future? This is like a running meme now. Anything that takes place in the future mentions some sort of, like, mass vape death from all the people who started...
Yeah, well, Futurama used to do a bunch of those gags.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where they were like, oh, the X wars of the phone wars of the 2000s or something, the 2020s.
Yeah.
All right. So while he is enraptured in whatever the
Yeah, I feel like
fuck
Klops
rabbit
is just
hole
in a
he just
deep
went
dive
down.
into the history of filtered cigarettes.
Well, because I remember watching.
Wikipedia got him.
This is confirmation that
Yup.
he is on a deep dive on the history of filtered cigarettes.
So Enemy at the Gates had cigarettes that were filtered in them. And they're based off of the Russian Sabrini brand, and I'm trying to figure out when those were originally made because it was bought out by a Japanese company in 2007. That would still put it ahead of the Titanic, but that still would be the 1940s.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
still way after.
The
Well-
brand
way
was
after.
introduced in 1879. But I'm trying to figure out when they came out with their like regular whites or whatever it was they're called. Sabrini whites.
We're right back to Lich Hitler. Jesus.
I mean, it was the 1940s.
Fair. He had to come from somewhere.
I thought he was in. I thought he was in South America. Isn't that the big conspiracy theory?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I mean, that's where a lot of them went.
Yeah,
so-
that is true. Pretty much if you meet an old German dude in South America, like, just kind of be suspicious of that.
Yeah, but like really old at this point.
Yeah. Even like an older dude, that's probably his kid. You know?
Oh yeah.
He probably sucks.
well,
Not necessarily.
yeah,
Not
I'm like,
necessarily, but I'm
hopefully
saying he
learned his
probably
lesson.
sucks. You just keep an eye out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, just don't leave him around with any ethnic people.
Right.
Yeah, just in case. Because bad.
Right.
So while he goes down this rabbit hole, there was some Batman news that was pretty cool if it's true.
Apparently it's pretty true, or more like not true yet.
Okay.
But apparently Michael Keaton is in talks about reappearing as Batman for the Flash movie. So the Flash movie with Ezra Miller, the one that's been in production hell for
yeah.
years. This thing has switched so many directors and writers and whatever. Ooh, boy, I'm really worried about it. But they apparently have settled on doing Flashpoint Paradox for the first Flash movie. Just the wrong call. But since
Tell
it's
us
going
why.
we'll get there. Since we're going to experiment with some alternate dimension stuff, they want to potentially bring in Michael Keaton to reprise Batman.
Okay.
Should be great. It'd be
yeah.
nice to see like a nice updated version of that campy old costume.
Oh,
You know,
well,
something where he can move his neck.
I was about to say, like, you think they'll leave it the same or he can't move his neck?
Now, I think you'll get something similar.
Because I think
I
it'll
think
be
you'll
great.
get the modern equivalent of it. You know,
Yeah, like maybe it has an outer plate and the inner part is movable.
something.
Yeah.
Something. Yeah, I think it could work. So Flashpoint doesn't really work for an intro on Flash, though, just because, like, the scale's too big. And the problem is you're not going to have time to bond with any of the characters other than the Flash. Though it does already sound like they're going to take the Flashpoint Paradox in a really different direction. The Flashpoint Paradox was less about a whole bunch of different universes and more about one universe that the Flash breaks and kind of rewrites history. The Batman in the Flashpoint Paradox is actually Thomas Wayne, and after the death of his
that's
son
right.
in an alleyway, he becomes this murderous vigilante called the Batman, while his wife goes insane and becomes the Joker. So it's Aquaman and Wonder Woman have an affair, which Mira finds out about. So to cover the whole thing up, Atlantis and Amazonia go to war with each other and wipe out most continents.
Oh.
Yeah. No, the Flashpoint Paradox world is really fucked up. And this is part of why I don't think this is a third movie at best.
Okay.
There's just too much going on, too much that has to suddenly change for a movie where we're trying to introduce a lot of concepts and ideas. And I get
Yeah.
that we are supposed to be developing some of this from Batman vs. Superman and Superman and whatever else. But I don't think it's like the problem is this is probably the most iconic Flash run outside of Rebirth. Like the Flash doesn't have a whole lot of really iconic arcs.
Okay.
So you have Flashpoint Paradox and Rebirth, and you can't do Rebirth until you kill him. So I get that it's hard, but I would actually be more interested in the throwaway movie. Like, let's do Spider-Man 1. This is just a hero who's real fast, and we'll put him up against Captain Cold or the Weather Wizard. Something that you can kind of do a lot of flashy effects with.
Yeah, I know, but that would be an origin, and I think people are pretty burnt out on origin stories.
I don't think it needs to be okay, if you really want to expand that, let's punch the too many villain trope in the face. Let's use the oh my god, why am I blanking on his main rogues gallery? Like, you want to say Fatal Five, and they're not the Fatal Five, but because it's a bunch of lame villains, let's throw too many lame villains at the Flash for him to handle. Let's do Mirror Master and Captain Cold and Heat Wave and Weather Wizard, but like the old 1960s low-res version. Don't do Weather Wizard where the motherfucker can summon a tornado. Do it while it's just like little shit that he can get away with, and Mirror Master can just kind of like pop out of mirrors and go, haha, motherfucker, shit. Like do them kind of campy, but it's just, he's fast, but he's got to juggle doing all this stuff plus his personal life. There's your Flash. Your Flash is all about a lack of balance. That's why the Flash is so great and relatable, man. His issue is just that he's got so much going on, he has to find time to be a person on top of being the person he wants to be. You get what I mean? Like, it's the burdens of the normal life with the burdens of trying to do right in the world. That's the Flash, man. All the speed in the world, but none of the time.
But then how do you fit in the grander scheme, because they were trying to do a shared universe?
I mean, you can do that in a lot of different ways with just nods to things, or he only has to talk to another character for a minute or two, or use this as your vehicle to expand. You only need to mention Batman, Superman, or Shazam at this point. Fucking Wonder Woman, have somebody mention that fish guy. You only need to nod to it for it to exist. Then you can take the time to introduce guys like Blue Beetle or fucking introduce Zatanna, and like introduce any of your lower tier level characters. Bring that kind of shit in and expand the universe. I was actually kind of
hoping for a Zatanna movie after Shazam was so successful.
There's still rumors of something Dark Universe happening. I think the last thing I saw was an HBO Max show. I don't remember, but there's still a whole bunch of circulating shit about trying to get a Justice League Dark something going.
Oh, dude, I would watch the fuck out of that. That was actually the only real book I read of the New 52.
Yeah. Justice League Dark was the New 52 as a couple. Part of the Dark Universe. The Animal Man run is fantastic. I think I did a review on it years ago.
Yeah, I recall.
Yeah.
But all right, well, I'm excited about Michael Keaton for sure.
Yeah, I think that'll be all that way. Just talk about either way. I think seeing Keaton again will be fantastic. That'll almost make it worth everything. Let's do a quick check-in. Klops, what else have we found about the original filtered cigarettes?
So the things that they had showed off in Enemy at the Gates, because the German general guy that's hunting the Russian guy is smoking that brand of cigarettes. But
so
it has
been around
this? The 1879. It was the
79, 54 is when they did the ones here.
For America, it was a special kind of plastic filter, is what it is. It's the filters we know of today. No, for the brands like Winston's and stuff.
No, I was talking about the Titanic. Where were they selling over from?
They were going from New York towards England, I thought, or something.
No, I thought it was to New York.
I thought it was from New York.
Hold on. Let's all sound like we don't know anything about history.
Clearly we don't.
Where was the Titanic going? Southampton on the 10th of April, 1912. The Titanic at Cherbourg in France and Queenstown. What the fuck is this even talking about? Where the fuck was the Titanic going, God damn it?
Anyway, there were filtered cigarettes around. They weren't as commonplace in America as they
Wait,
were.
everything you've said so far was way after 1912. How are you going to say they were around?
1870, not 1970.
Oh, okay, I misheard that. Okay.
Yeah, I was.
I was
heard
like,
him-
what the fuck? That's way after.
I heard
The-
him say
the
that
common-
a little earlier, but I thought he caught it.
The common thing that they would use is the cigarette holder, which is that long, skinny thing that they would often put stuff in.
That's
to filter
called
the
a
taste.
gazwa, and yeah, I wouldn't call that the same kind of filter.
No, I was saying that it was what caught on and what was primarily used
Yeah.
for a lot of people.
It's a gazwa. Okay, it was sailing from Southampton to New York, so yeah, it sounds like London to New York.
Okay, so whatever was available in London around there would be what they would have had.
Well, it's European, so I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised
but
if you could get filtered
back
cigarettes.
then European did not mean free trade agreements, and you're also talking about Russia, who I don't think has ever had free trade agreements with.
Well, that was that brand. I mean, Turkish cigarettes are all over the world, my friend.
I feel like you've gone way too deep on this one cigarette thing. He also mentions riding these rides at Coney Island, which weren't built yet. He mentions fishing at a lake, which is a man-made lake, which didn't exist until years after.
So either they have a really shitty fact checker, or they're a genius.
Something. That's all it was, Klops.
But all right, so
I feel like this has brought out. This is, you know what this is all over again? This is Klops watching Stargate all over again, where he's like, "That's the wrong standard issue weapon. I can't do it."
I mean, I just want to get the facts right. I'm sure you may say other things in the theory that prove more of that theory. I'm just saying that someone saying this is part of it and it shouldn't be there.
Well, literally, no, hold on. This is some fringe, obscure shit. The cigarette they're talking about is clearly a modern filtered cigarette, which did not exist until 1954. And you couldn't even find this reference to some obscure filtered cigarette without 22 minutes of research into finding an obscure filtered cigarette.
That is a pretty good research if it only took me 22 minutes for me to
I'm
find.
just saying, from a
research
basic
for it.
Google search, literally the first thing that comes up is the first filtered cigarette is 1954. And what are they defining as a filter?
yeah,
Well, there's all kinds. There's like natural filters and stuff, which is basically rocks and like sand and stuff in it with 2 pieces of cotton in between, or to hold it in place.
Does it even look like a filtered cigarette?
That's why they have the little stripe around.
all right.
Buying any of this.
Anyways, I feel like you guys should do more research and come back and report on this conspiracy theory.
Me and Klops are going to become cigarette lobbyists by the end of this.
One of them is lobbying for filtered, one of them is lobbying for unfiltered, but they're both available, and we're not sure why you're fighting.
Right.
All right, yeah, that sounds like a plan, a total plan. All right, so I still have the Batman graphic up, but we also want to talk about they weren't the best, but Joel Schumacher passed away today, and he did create the 2 worst Batmans, but it's still sad.
I would not go that far. The 2 worst Batmans?
Oh, okay. I can't give you a solid opinion on Batman Forever because nostalgia makes that the golden one for me. But Batman and Robin was pretty bad. Like, which one's worse?
Whatever Christian Bale's 3rd Batman movie was. That was awful.
Is that Rises?
Whatever. Whichever one had Bane.
Yeah, that might be Rises.
That was fucking terrible. That movie's not good.
Yeah, but worse than Bat Nipples?
Yes. Because, okay, hold on. One thing that a lot of people aren't taking into consideration is tone. That movie was not trying to be super dark, edgy Batman. It was supposed to be a light-hearted, campy Batman. Joel Schumacher actually set out with the idea of capturing a more comic book feeling Batman. And that's why there were so many like neon lights and shit.
Yeah.
It's because at the time it was the 90s. It was all dark colors with bright neon fucking lights and shit. That's how comic books looked. Joel Schumacher actually captured the look and feel of 90s comics. the plots were a little cheesy, and yes, the characters were over the top and were not the same that they were in the comics. But as far as an aesthetic goes, I'd say the guy really nailed it.
I felt like even the acting was a little.
Oh well, no, it notoriously was. What's his name? Tommy Lee Jones hated working on the movie, and apparently was like really drunk through most of the scenes, and so you can tell he is just chewing the fat. He is so over the top cartoony in that movie.
I wonder why he said yes, because after that he still did Men in Black, and that's another like.
I can't remember if it was he didn't get along with Jim Carrey or something. I don't remember.
I can see that. I have heard that Jim Carrey is kind of difficult.
Yeah, I don't know what and this was like him at like the peak of his career. My bigger thing was like, honestly, that was not the Riddler or Two-Face. Like, they did not capture the real characters at all.
I didn't know that until many years later, because again, this was my first real exposure to Batman. I didn't know about Batman until Batman Forever.
Right. Oh, it's actually my wife's favorite one as well. She likes it because it's so campy and over the top. She says it works better.
I think I'm gonna go watch it after.
Klopson's. Did you ever see these ones?
I did. I think I really liked the one with Penguin or whatever.
That's two. That's still Tim Burton.
Was that Tim Burton?
That's still Tim Burton.
Did he do Forever or whatever it was?
Yeah, Forever with Val Kilmer.
What was the one with Mr. Freeze?
Mr. Freeze is 4 with George Clooney. That's Batman and Robin, which really should be called Batman and Robin and Batgirl.
Yeah.
But
Alicia Silverstone was Batgirl.
Is in it as Batgirl? Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like that one.
It's. I mean, look, is it a fantastic movie? Like, no, it did not deserve an Oscar or anything, but it's campy greatness. You know what I mean? Like, it's no worse than a high-budget Adam West movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. But again, for me, I have a blind spot for it, so I never...
No, we're talking Bat Nipples. This is Clooney.
Oh, Clooney. Okay.
The camp factor. Bro, Mr. Freeze straight looks at the camera and goes, "Take 2 of these and call me in the morning." Like, come on.
Yeah.
Everybody, honestly, chill.
Because it's
so
fucking
good.
Like just like Mr. Freeze doing puns everywhere. I loved it, which is not that character at all.
But they did the right Mr. Freeze background. They did the one from Heart of Ice and Batman the Animated Series, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one of the OG sympathetic villains right there in comic book movies, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Bane
actually
was a little ripped off, but he looked good. Google a picture of Batman and Robin Bane right now and tell me that shit does not look legit. I don't like that he's like a skinny little bitch who had it forced on him. I'm talking purely the look, but the look of Bane is so good in that.
Yeah, I'm bringing one up. It's not bad.
Come on, for the 90s and shit, dude.
I like that.
I don't know. I kind of like that he was like this like average dude that just like fucking like grew.
Right,
well, right. He's supposed, but he wasn't supposed to be like a little bitch who had it forced on him. He was like a cutthroat who went through this.
Okay. By the way, also sad that Joel Schumacher's dead. We totally like glanced over that.
No, I'm trying to like praise his movies, man. Like they get a bad rep, but I actually think if you watch them in the right light, his movies are really good. They shouldn't have followed the Tim Burton movies, but I think back then people were kind of hesitant to do a reboot. You know what I mean?
I kind of feel like if his would have come out first, I think they would have hit better.
Yeah.
Because the 80s had a lot of that like neon and all that. I will say I like Forever better because it was moody and broody, and so was I as a child. Still.
No, so wait, hold on. It's moody and broody would be 1 and 2. So it's Batman Returns, Batman Forever.
But Batman Returns over Batman and Robin is way darker tones, way more like teenager-y.
But I'm talking about verse Forever. Forever isn't dark and broody. Returns is dark and broody.
The colors are. The color schemes are. It's greens and blacks in Forever.
You think the Val Kilmer Batman is broody?
Broodier than fucking Batman and Robin.
Okay, yeah, but
that was the entire point I was making.
Okay,
That's
but
why-
compared to Keaton,
yeah,
like
but
not
again,
dark and broody at all.
I didn't see Keaton until after Batman and
All
Robin.
right. All
You know what's
right.
funny is that I didn't watch, so like I don't remember the Batman and Robin movie or the Batman movies, the first two, until after I'd saw, what is it? Not it's the one where he like clones himself, where Michael Keaton's playing like he clones himself.
Multiplicity.
Yeah, Multiplicity.
I love that movie.
And so like I ended up like watching Batman and Batman 2 or Batman Returns after that and like remembering it, and it put it into a completely different light because like I had remembered this actor from Multiplicity and
Okay.
not the Batman movies, and so it was a completely different. I was like almost breaking my immersion into the Batman movie with how much like it went from like comedy to seriousness
That's
on that
funny
scale.
because I'd only seen Keaton in Beetlejuice at that point, and luckily his face was hidden, so that didn't happen to me. But-
I'll tell you, go watch Multiplicity and then watch Batman and Batman Returns.
Pops, have you ever seen Johnny Dangerously?
Oh my god, it's amazing.
Maybe.
So it's this super weird Michael Keaton mobster comedy movie,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's almost like slapstick comedy. You've got to check it out. It's like weirdly, it's a super Michael Keaton role without it all being a Michael Keaton role. It's so good.
It basically
plays.
that's the one that showcases his comedic chops the most
Yeah.
out of all of his like ever since then he's done stuff where he's funny and he's hit it like the other guys. I think his character in the other guys is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But that movie, it just it hits so perfectly. It's like having Rodney Jr. do Iron Man. It just fits.
Right. Oh, it's like when Channing Tatum did 21 Jump Street, and everybody was like, that fucking guy can't do comedy. Oh no, shit, that guy can hit comedy.
Yeah.
Dude, Keaton should have gotten more comedic roles based on Johnny Dangerously alone.
Yeah. He was pretty good.
I mean, he was good. I liked him in Multiplicity. I thought he was good there.
Multiplicity is fantastic.
I have not
Number
seen
4
that
is my
still.
hero. What?
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
No, dude, that's one you could watch with your wife, no problem. Like, it's good, clean, fun.
Yeah, I'm actually, I don't know if she's seen it, but I think I'm gonna show her Groundhog Day soon.
Ah, there
'Cause
you
it's
go.
another
It's been a
one of
while.
those, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I haven't seen Batman Forever in
forever?
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew someone was gonna go for it.
I knew you were gonna fucking do it.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go back watch Batman Forever. I didn't hate Jim Carrey, but that's because I didn't know anything about the real Riddler. And
Yeah, see, he's only bad once you know the real Riddler.
yeah, and even then, at that point, it was so separated from me that I don't hate Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I know you in particular hate him, but
I don't. It works for that movie, but it's not the Riddler.
yeah, I still want to see a good Riddler though, because it'll be a little bit more akin to.
I still think Neil Patrick Harris could pull off the Riddler, or Hugh Laurie.
Hugh Laurie. I think Hugh
Hugh
Laurie's
Laurie
the way
would
to
make
go.
a real good
Yeah, because
Riddler.
we've already seen him with a cane, and we know
Klops, you
what
got a
that
Riddler
looks like.
pick?
No,
Yeah.
sorry, I was trying to find this movie on like one of the streaming services, and it says it's on Netflix or not Netflix. Yeah, it says it's on Netflix and Amazon, but it's not.
Batman
Mm.
Forever.
Lame.
No,
Johnny
Johnny
Dangerously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But no, Riddler pick. You got
Yeah,
a good movie
fantasy
Riddler pick?
No, I don't really remember the Riddler that much. I remember Jim Carrey played him at one point, and it was kind of dumb.
You don't
Yeah,
know
but-
Riddler from the comics at all?
No, I never really followed the comics for Batman.
The animated series?
I haven't watched that since I was a kid, but I could probably better recall certain parts of Batman Beyond more than I could Batman the animated series.
Beyond is dope.
You know who I think? Oh, now
I just remember the
his
fucking
name.
Joker gang.
Oh, the Joker Gang's dope too. Yeah. Blight's pretty cool. I like Blight.
So the actor that probably would have, maybe if he was a little younger, but they could try it. John Delancey.
I think I know exactly. You're saying for Terry McGinnis?
No, I was gonna say for Riddler. I think he could do it. He played Q in Star Trek.
Oh yeah, yeah. I buy the temperament. I don't know if I buy the look.
I don't know. Just put him in a green suit. Let him go. Something like green, with green accents. I don't think he'd go full green like Gary did. A little bit more subtle. I think he could do it. I like the attitude and how he can switch from being very serious to inappropriately jovial.
Yeah.
I think
All
that
right.
was I think that's what would make it. But I don't know. Also, Hugh Laurie.
Yeah. No, I think you'll. And in my mind, the Riddler is very Saw-esque in a movie. It's deadly puzzles. You know what I mean? You got to solve his fucking riddles or die.
Yeah.
It works the best. I'm telling you, that's how you do
could
it.
actually do a really if you wanted to take the Joker treatment and do it to the Riddler, you can make a serial killer with Saw-like things.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really great movie. Start writing, bitch.
How do you feel about so the good news, I guess. I kind of like this. Do you hear the new Batman movie, the one with Pattinson?
Yeah.
They're going to set up a bunch of villains, but not necessarily use them all as the main villain for this movie. So they already announced that Colin Farrell is going to be playing Penguin, but even he's already coming. He's like, "Look, I'm not the main villain." He's like, "I have a handful of lines. I'm in the movie, but Penguin is not the villain in this movie."
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and apparently they're going to do a couple of villains like that. Rumor is they're going to set up a Joker as well.
Okay. And then Patterson, this is early Batman, right?
I believe the idea is for it to be early Batman. Yes,
Are they
mostly what they've confirmed is that it's a very film noir kind of film.
interesting? I don't hate that they're branching out.
I'm hoping it's a detective movie. Of
Yeah.
course, have some action scenes, but I want a Batman movie where he does detective work.
As long as they don't turn into the Spirit or whatever the fuck that thing was. That was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad.
Where it was like
I don't think
over
I've
the
seen The
top.
Spirit.
It was
You
over
haven't
the top
seen The
noir.
Spirit?
They tried to do a Sin City and failed.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh,
Yeah.
isn't it also a Frank Miller comic?
The comic, I believe so. I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure you and I saw that movie together with our wives. They weren't our wives at the time, but and we all
Maybe. Chat's
hated
asking
it.
the Shadow. No, Shadow is what? It's one of the Baldwins doing the Shadow. This is I know what they're talking about. The Spirit. I think it even had like Michael Clark Duncan.
It was. Let's see here. The Spirit was.
He was like a Nazi. He was like a black Nazi.
I don't remember that. I don't remember much of The Spirit. I just know. So I don't know any of these people. It was bad.
Okay, hold on.
It had Samuel L. Jackson play
Maybe
a
that's who I'm thinking
character
of.
called Octopus.
Of course he did. Why wouldn't he?
Oh,
Really?
Scarlett Johansson was in this. Wow, I remember nothing but
Eva Mendes is
hating
in it. Sarah Paulson is in it. These are all people that you should at least be loosely aware
Oh,
of.
Eva Mendes, yeah, for sure, I know. Sarah Paulson.
She's in American Horror Story.
Oh, she's been in a few things that I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it was terrible. Hated it.
Yeah. No, it was really. I think maybe I did see it, and it was. I don't know.
The
It was probably
Shadow
bad.
knows. By the way, every time I get a chance to, I want to give a shout out to the Shadow movie. Say what you want, I like it. It kind of holds up. It holds up in that weird way that the first and
Isn't it
maybe-
Alec Baldwin?
Alec Baldwin, yeah. It holds up in a way where the first and second Mummy movies hold up. Well, the first. The second one gets a little weird with the CGI. But the first Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser still holds up. I do like it. It's very Indiana Jones type, but with more like magic thrown in. So, yeah, saw that recently. But the
I
Shadow.
don't think I've ever actually seen The Shadow.
You should. It is
Hell of a cast. For anybody who's never seen it, Alec Baldwin, Peter Boyle, Ian McKellen, Tim Curry, Jonathan Winters,
yeah.
James Hong. This is
You should. Watch it
a
and
hell
tell
of a
us about it.
cast.
Tell us your take on it soon. But yeah, no, I like The Shadow.
Can
I'm
we
a
all
fan.
can we all just take a minute? You know what we're all gonna do is we're all gonna watch The Phantom.
I've seen it recently. The one with
Billy Zane,
Billy
Christy
Zane?
Swanson.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in. I like it. Okay, so
Oh,
The
God.
Phantom and The Rocketeer are my two like random guilty pleasures movies that. Came
Oh,
out of
my
nowhere.
brother loves The Rocketeer. I hate it.
I like it.
Hate
Every couple
it.
years, I put it on and watch it.
Ugh.
Why do you
Ugh.
why do you hate that one?
It's awful.
I'm a big fan of the leading actress,
Who's the leading actress in it?
Jennifer Connelly.
Of course, it's
young
Jennifer. Fucking,
Connelly.
what was I thinking? What was I thinking?
But
Klops, you
yeah.
ever seen The Rocketeer?
I have not.
It's about a guy who builds a jetpack.
No, it's not. It's about it's about a jetpack developed by I think it was like William Hurst that gets intercepted by Nazis and they're gonna try and duplicate the technology, but while it's being intercepted, it lands into the hands of a like a normal pilot.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, Klops. Let me rephrase what I said. It's not about a guy who builds a jetpack.
He just
It's
finds
about a
one.
guy who finds a jetpack.
Exactly.
Sorry.
And
I'm sorry for fucking up that very key plot point.
No, check this out, and it's beautiful because the main bad guy Nazi, and by the way, I guess spoiler for anyone who hasn't fucking seen it. It's like been out for years. Suck it.
Yeah, God, that's what, 1980
Oh,
something?
I don't know. No, it's got to be like
Oh no, 91.
yeah, I was gonna say
91.
like early '90s. But anyways, the main bad guy who ends up being a Nazi is a very famous Hollywood actor.
Do you know his name?
No. The character is a famous Hollywood actor.
Okay.
That's what I meant. And no, I actually don't remember his name. So either way, ha. But yeah, no, check it out. I don't hate it. The Rocketeer. It's one of those movies. It's like The Sandlot for me. You just go watch.
Okay, The Sandlot is good. The Rocketeer is not. And that helmet. Oh, you know they've been trying to do a reboot of it.
Yeah, for a while. They even were talking about a female-led reboot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a little girl who finds it.
Yeah. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I like.
From the chat, it's basically Greatest American Hero set further in the past and not aliens. That's actually pretty apt. That's yeah. The only downside of that is we have to explain what Greatest American Hero is to most folks.
And obviously it's also like a period piece, right? Except the period is the 40s or 50s or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so it's not bad. It's decent. But The Shadow.
I can
also watch The
Klops,
Shadow.
I feel like, is going to have the same problem that a lot of people had. There's a rocket strapped to a man's back, and it's not burning him at all.
It was of the leather jacket he wore.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's the leather jacket.
Believe it or not,
That's how real
I'm
astronauts
walking
get by
on
that.
air.
Yep. You know, all them leather, all their moose skin. It was their moose skin. I'm not sorry at all.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that? That's right. Nothing for you. Nothing.
Klops, tell us about this show you were watching that I was surprised of.
Oh, you're talking about a show that I've been watching called Crossing Swords?
I saw one episode of this. Now that I see the thing,
Honestly, it's okay. It's not
Yeah.
like the greatest thing ever, but it's not like bad. Like there's a lot of moments in it where like it's just kind of predictable. It's really great background show.
yeah.
And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've just been playing video games and like having it on in the background and like watching it and going, that's pretty entertaining. I think it falls maybe not as bad, but along the same similarities as like what's it called? It's on Netflix. It's from the creator that did Futurama.
Disenchanted.
Yeah, Disenchanted. It kind of goes along the same lines as like that kind of entertainment.
Okay.
It's not bad by any means, but it's definitely not like as funny as you want it to be.
Well, and it's from the Robot Chicken guys.
Yeah, which is
So
fine.
it's basically Robot
also-
Chicken Disenchanted.
It's also
interesting.
well, actually, it has like story arcs and stuff. It's actually really weird. Going from like Nick knowing that it's from Robot Chicken Crew, and it has like a continuous story that's going.
Well, yeah,
It's
because
pretty
you've only
interesting.
seen their like random episodic stuff, but even their episodic
Yeah.
stuff, some of them had
Continuity.
continuity and plot line.
Yeah, but a lot of it was just random.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
It
funny
was
bits.
mostly shotgun humor.
Yeah,
So,
which is fine.
my problem with Disenchanted was it tried the same kind of tropes as the previous the Simpsons. You know, it tried very similar tropes. So, but for this, I'm wondering how much does it take from Robot Chicken? Like,
It kind of just brings over the absurd extremist kind of humor.
okay,
Yeah.
So, you know, people will be saying stuff and then they'll just like very out of period drop some ridiculous hurtful curse on them or whip out their titties or whatever.
okay, interesting. So it just doesn't land because it's random for the sake of random.
No, I wouldn't say
No,
that.
it kind of just follows that like that Family Guy formula, right? Where like they're like doing something and then all of a sudden like for instance, right, they're talking about Kraken Day, right? It's just one of the ones that comes up. Kraken Day, everybody loves Kraken Day, and I wish that Kraken Day was my family. And then it goes into a flashback of why he wishes Kraken Day or the Krakens were his family, because the one day that he was gonna go view the Krakens or whatever, he ended up not being able to go because his son is allergic to shellfish and the other siblings tricked him into eating a shellfish, and then he couldn't go onto the fucking boat ride or something like that, right? You know what I mean? Like, so like kind of goes like from going, well, here's the story, and then we're gonna go into this flashback about what it is and like try to have some humor in it, and it's not really landing too well. It's just kind of like, well, why did we do that? We could have just said he's allergic to shellfish and couldn't go on. We could have moved on and went to like more humor or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also it's the kind of humor where a lot of times you go, "That's funny," but you don't
Yeah.
laugh.
Oh, it's not laugh out loud humor. It's just like
No.
Some of it is there is
Yeah, it's
some
got
of that.
bits.
You know, it's just
Yeah.
I didn't go into it expecting like a lot, right?
This reminds me of a Cavalcade of Humor.
I'd say it's better than that.
Okay, good, because I didn't enjoy that a bit. Like I think it had maybe one or two things that was great.
Yeah, no, like this has funny bits. It's just nothing that like nothing's gonna blow you away.
I mean,
It's not so clever or so original.
I've sat here and binged it to episode 7 today, so I mean, it's doing something right. I'm around it at least, even if it is more background than anything.
Okay, well, give it a rating.
I would give it a solid 3 out of 5 circumcisions.
Oh, okay.
It's a fair number of
Yeah,
circumcisions.
I mean, fair enough. Lots of skin left over.
Well, I mean, you can't get trench dick if you have a circumcision.
I don't know what that is, and
You'll
don't
find
think
out
I
if you watch the
want
show.
to. Oh, fair enough. Is it anything like what was a trench boot?
Kind of. That's what they were implying, is that if you're not circumcised as a town guard, then you can get trench dick when you're on the battlefield somehow. And they don't really explain it.
Fair enough. I mean, it's funny. That's one of them jokes.
I laughed.
Ha ha. All right. So there was a movie that apparently was a book first that we were gonna review.
I wasn't told about a book we had to read about a movie review.
No. Bonsai was gonna review a movie that used to be a book, right?
Oh, right, yeah. I forgot about the book part. You threw me with the book
Oh,
part.
I'm sorry.
Because I never read them or anything.
Neither
so
did I,
I came
so-
into it just as a movie. Yeah, Artemis Fowl. Disney released it on Disney Plus. Supposed to hit the theaters, didn't, because those aren't a thing right now. Artemis Fowl. I want to be nice to this movie,
Okay.
but I don't have a lot of nice things to say about the movie.
First of all, are you the target audience?
No.
Okay. all right.
Well, mostly no.
Okay.
Like, I feel like this could hit anybody who's into the YA stuff, and I'm not saying that there's never been YA stuff that I've enjoyed, but I'm not the primary YA audience, nor am I like a heavy
okay,
YA
would I
consumer.
like it?
I think both. I think actually both of you could walk away from watching this feeling the same way I did. If this movie did one thing for me, it actually made me really interested in reading the book.
Okay, just to see if it's just as terrible.
No, no, no. It's more, this kind of felt, and this is kind of a mean comparison only because of how bad the movie is, but take more the idea than the movie itself. It kind of felt like the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie, where it was just trying to cram a lot of information into a really short amount of time. And because I don't know the books well enough, I don't know if this ran all 8 books into one, or if this was just one or two books into one.
Like the Golden Compass.
Kind of. The bigger problem in this is there's a lot of characters who I'm sure have a lot more to say and do in the book, where there's just no time to do it here. So there's a few actually kind of cool or interesting characters who I'd love more information on, and I'm sure they develop much better over 8 books, which is how many are out. I don't know if it's over anything, but there are 8 out. I'm sure the books are great because this is all really interesting, but it's so rushed in the movie. You have no time to really bond with any character. Like, by the end of it, they're all friends, but you kind of go like, why? This was all just really circumstantial shit that you got through together, but nobody really... It was all just really convenient. Like, oh, hey, you're
D&D,
here. Kind of. Oh, you're here, and we vaguely are after the same thing and are physically walking in the same direction. I guess we're friends now. There's a lot of that, and it just feels like
Wait, that isn't how you make friends? That's how I've always made friends.
Isn't that how you end up with all your friends, especially in elementary school? You just happen to be in the same class.
So Colin Farrell does a really good job. The kids who are in it actually do a pretty good job. Josh Gad isn't doing poorly. I just don't buy him in this role, and it's probably a little bit of my own bias just knowing other stuff that he takes, but yeah, I just have a hard time with Josh Gad. And again, it's not because he's doing poorly. His face just doesn't fit. I don't know. If you see it, maybe you'll know what I mean. I just don't think it works for him. But all in all, nothing is bad.
So what is the story about?
It's about a kid who he's like a boy genius. He's just jamming through school, has already taught himself multiple languages, all this kind of stuff. And then one day he wakes up and finds out that his dad is being accused of being this high-end international thief. And then slowly you find out that all the stories of fairies and leprechauns and stuff that his dad told him about are all true. And his dad has some loose affiliation with fairies, and that's what leads him to procure all of these objects. But this is sort of the problem. They don't really go into that part, though that's our setup for what happens, which is mostly a plot about his dad being kidnapped and him trying to solve a very small mystery and mostly just do negotiations with a bunch of elves and fairies to get his dad back. That you don't get a whole lot of why or what or how. Okay. That's part of it all feeling rushed. There's a lot of cool stuff being set up. We just don't really have any time. It's only an hour-and-a-half movie. So there's no time to really go into
That's really short,
anything. One thing my wife was pointing out, that the fairies and leprechauns all turn out to be tech users. But I was more assuming that it was magic-powered tech or magic harnessed within tech, but they never had enough time to develop it that I guess it could go either way. It could just be that they've had advanced technology for years and that's why we thought it was magic, or it could be that time progressed naturally and they had magic, so they have technologically advanced stuff because they're hybridizing science and math. None of that's developed. None of the friendships are developed. Nothing. Honestly, almost nothing. There's even this scene at the end where the main kid, Artemis Fowl, goes, I'm the best criminal mastermind in the world, or something like that. But me and my wife both went, what makes you a criminal mastermind? Nothing you did was criminal. You just solved a mystery. You're
that's why he's the best.
But he's the best boy detective in the world. He's not a criminal, really.
What he wants to be, and that's what makes him a criminal mastermind.
I feel in the book he has to do a lot more illegal stuff to further his. I want to check out the books. That's where I'm at. I really want, and the first one is actually free on Amazon right now. You can check out the first book. I actually really do want to look into the books because a lot of interesting things were happening.
Okay.
I'd love to know anything about any of the interesting things that were happening because they give you nothing. So a fun movie if you want to dip your toe into a new universe and see if it's something you want to explore. Because again, you're only investing an hour and a half. So even for a rushed movie, you kind of get a great Colin Farrell performance. The kids do really good. Josh Gad again isn't bad in it. You know, you there's a lot of fun in the movie. You're just not really developing anything. Like, this is not a franchise builder by any means. It more just goes, hey, check out the franchise that's already there.
All right, give us a rating.
Like straight middle of the road. A 3 flippy magic universal guns out of 5.
Flippy magic universal guns.
Are they like throwing it in the air and flipping it to catch it to charge it?
It was like compact, and it was a rifle, and I think it was a whip, and I'm pretty sure it was a bow and arrow.
It was magic.
No, but it was like science.
Magical science.
Basic, maybe.
Okay.
We don't know. They never tell you.
All right.
They don't explain the gun either. That's just
All
what
right.
she has.
And
I kind of wish that it was like where it like pulled the like route of like Wizards from like 1976.
Love Wizards. Wizards is so good.
Spoiler: if you haven't seen Wizards, just because we're at the end of the podcast, just leave and go watch it. Otherwise, the trick at the end is him pulling out a gun and shooting his brother.
Oh my god, it's the best fucking. Oh, mom taught me one trick she didn't teach you. Blat, motherfucker! Like,
Yeah,
John.
it was great. I was like, "What the fuck? Your magic trick is just a gun."
Which, honestly, I feel like Wizards ruined Harry Potter for me. Because I was like, at what point does Harry just sneak a like? I realize why they didn't do this. This wouldn't have gone over well. But at what point does Harry just sneak a gun into the school and then just shoot Voldemort in the face? Like, oh, you got to cast a spell? Blam! 1 bullet. You're out of the game, chief.
Yeah, magic protects against this spell.
Right.
Expecto
Lagardium
Patronum.
Levio, you're already dead.
I don't even know if you got that spell right, but
I don't give a shit.
All right, and on that note, check us out Monday nights, 7 to 8 on In5D Podcast on YouTube. We also do a Twitch stream, Metagame Network. Twitch.tv/Metagame Network. We're also, you guys are doing your Wednesday stream, yes? What are you playing now?
Dying Light?
Yeah, Dying Light is the new one.
We just finished. If you want to check out because the Twitch will hold on to that, right?
Yeah. I have such past recordings.
Yeah, Toe Jam and Earl back in the groove. I didn't think we were gonna beat it, and then we pulled it out at the very end. We just jammed it.
Nice. All right, perfect. Bias Bros podcast comes out every other Thursday. And any final words, Bonsai?
Colin Farrell, you're my boy.
Class.
I don't know. That's all I have.
Snozberries taste like snozberries.
The second one was such a fucking disappointment.
I loved it.